Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming your way tonight. Catch of the week, as always, some cracking snapper starting to appear in Catch of the Week. We're going to talk about compact fishing reels tonight. We're also going to talk about trout cod. They're making a great comeback. Product of the week, mailbag, hotspots, plenty more. Also going to tell you all about where to fish these school holidays. But before that, the king of the kids is here tonight. You got your grandson in the studio, but he's not quite here. He's playing up, so he's outside. But Trelly,
set. That's right, exactly. Yeah, and getting some great weather.
Yeah.
All the local footy finals are finishing up probably last weekend because we've got the grand final this weekend. So it really is sort of a bit of a trigger point as far as the unleashing the fishermen in people.
Absolutely. Now, one bloke that doesn't want to talk footy. One bloke that doesn't want to talk footy. He's a Melbourne supporter. He's no stranger to talking fishing. But Callan, welcome and thanks for filling in for Adam tonight, who's just up at the Bim River just chucking lures at Big Brim, hopefully.
It's a pleasure to be back on. Yeah, a bit disappointing about the D's, but you know, it's a great time of the year.
Hey, how many kilos you put on since that Seamaster battery's had?
I've been in a
Sorry, I didn't mean to ask you that.
I've been in a very good paddock.
Yeah, been in a very good paddock, mate. Yeah. Now, you love your fishing and get out and about. And where you been fishing lately?
Well, look, my boat's been out of action lately, so I've been doing a bit of land-based, bit of fishing. So,
did you get up on those Golden River trout?
Look, I haven't got up on the Golden River trout yet. I just thought it was a little bit too busy for me. But I'm, wrapped with the fish that have been caught up there. But I've been spending a bit of time locally where I'm working at the moment on the on Bayside and catching some squid. From Beau Morris, Brighton Breakwall. We're getting some nice small squid and getting a bit of a feed. So which has been really good.
Do you think the squid have been as good up that top end of the bay as they have been, certainly down like the Peninsula and in Western Port, some of the hot spots,
I think it's been better the further south that you go, and you find a bigger quality size of squid. But look, there's been good numbers anyway, so it's keeping everyone pretty busy.
Yeah. Good stuff. Folks, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano, providing reliable, trustworthy, quality fishing gear for your enjoyment.
And let's kick it off. Gummies and snapper are the talk of the town when it comes to the town of Warneet. That's your hometown, Cal.
It is.
Have a look at this. Matt Anderson, what a cracker of a fish, or a couple of fish, sorry. Nice snapper, couple of gummies.
And we've seen a good influx of people fishing the top end, and there's been plenty of boats and trailers in the car park.
So one of them hit his head on a prop.
Definitely.
All right, let's head to Blair Gowrie, and On the Jetty is always a great place for some good calamari, and some big calamari off the Blair Gowrie jetty. Mike Davies got a cracker there.
That is a nice squid. It looks like he might need a couple of lessons from you to how to hold one, but
but they can be slippery suckers, and especially when you get a big one and you panic. The best thing is when you get those big ones, you just got to take it easy. Enjoy them. Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment when you get a big one. And then if you can, it's a bit hard on a jetty, but I'll throw it in a live tank in the live bait well. Keep it alive and have a think about how you want to get the best photo out of it, because seriously, they're a great fish to be photographed with, aren't they?
They are.
I mean, they're special, and they're take a leaf out of Bruce McAvaney's. Don't want to talk about
get him up
Melbourne.
over the shoulder and lay him beside your ear and get him out there.
Whereas poor old Mike, he just he was panicking. He had a big one. So I'll tell you, someone who didn't panic was Luke Matarazzo. Have a look at this off the Portsea Pier, boys.
Now that's one of the biggest squid I've seen in a while, and for it to be land-based is just what a treat.
Great colour.
Yeah, beautiful. Get them fresh too. That's the other thing. Don't wait till they're all white and dead in a bucket and they've spewed their ink out and everything. And get them while they're fresh in a photo like that, because they're just absolutely fantastic. Now let's look at the snapper catches of the week, because there's been some crackers. Let's kick it off. Barry, he got one off St Kilda during the week, and that's a pretty good fish in anyone's books.
That is very nice
and fresh.
Everyone knows him as Barry.
That's Barry.
Plenty of rods in the background too. So
Yeah, dunno.
It's a collection of rods.
Could be on a charter or something, I don't know.
Yeah,
Barry,
that's right.
Very
thanks
nice
for that,
fish.
Barry. Land-based, Port Melbourne, probably the warmies,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Certainly
I'd
up that
That's-
mouth
yeah.
of the Yarra there.
Still a bit
Seems
down
to be a congregation, bit of warm water.
Yeah.
And of course, they're saying that there's record numbers of tailor up there, so obviously
Yeah,
the fish are
exactly,
going up there to
Yeah.
eat. And there's a cracker. Alexander Vasilij,
Vasilij.
a 68 centimetre snapper off Port Melbourne, land-based. That's pretty good.
And pretty typical of this time of the year too to see him venturing up that top end of the bay, trying to find some warmer water. So,
Absolutely.
nice fish.
Now, tell you what, a few relationship problems here, I reckon.
really?
I'm just tipping because Maddie Lundy,
Yeah.
she got out with the old man
Yeah.
and got a beautiful 77 centimetre snapper
Lovely
off
fish.
Clifton Springs. Now, that's a lovely fish.
It
right?
It's a very nice fish.
And
Well done,
I
Matty.
can just say that the old man, in fact, he wrote into us. Let me just read this before we put the next photo up.
Okay.
Hi guys, my daughter and I caught these off Clifton Springs on Sunday. Maddie and I both caught our personal best snapper. Maddie boated and released this 77 centimetre snapper. 4.5 hours later, now Maddie would have been out of her mind,
Yeah,
right?
that's
She
right,
would have
yeah.
been out of her mind.
Yeah, take me home.
Have a look at the next. He made her stay out on the boat.
How long
Fishing
is it
buddy,
gonna
he called her.
take you, Dad?
But look, Owen, he got a 91 centimetre
Yeah.
4.5 hours later. And he also released it to fight another day. It's our best day out ever. Cheers from Owen and Maddie. We're fishing buddies, and they did a bit of a video releasing them and all that sort of stuff. But well done to Maddie.
Yep.
And I tell you what, next time your old man keeps you out there for 4.5 hours, just go after about 3 and just say, Dad,
Yeah.
bad luck, I
You'll
out fishing
lose.
today.
Or cut
Oh,
his
very
line.
nice.
But anyway, no, you got to be
nice
over that
fish.
91 centimetres.
Beautiful
So
electric blue fins. Yeah, I
yeah,
really like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Clifton Springs been all right,
Yeah,
Charlie.
been fishing really well.
Neck of the Corio Bay there. So.
Excellent delivery.
And I tell you what, a young fellow who sends us in some cracking photos. He's been at it again on the kayak in the Patterson Lake system. Marlon Blackford. Have a look at this for a stonking brim.
That is a
Ooh,
cracker.
that's a ripper.
It's a
Very
brim,
good
isn't it?
fish.
It's a great photo too.
And, you know, look, there's quite a lot of fish in the Patterson Lake system, but to come by big fish like that can be quite challenging. So hats
Yeah.
off to Marlon there.
Absolutely.
Soft plastic.
So hard body
Looks so.
probably.
Oh,
Soft-
yeah,
soft-
yeah, I
okay.
can't
Couldn't
tell.
say that. No. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
Coming up very soon, fisheries news and plenty more on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
I tell you what an exciting time of year, boys, for parents and grandparents that want to get out and go fishing. A little bit of sniff of spring in the air.
That's
and
it.
Weather's getting
tomorrow's, I think tomorrow's 18, 19 or something.
Yes, I
20?
believe so, yeah.
Grand final, 13 degrees.
Yeah, it's always the way.
But-
that's right. Yeah.
but-
Those big forwards
Sure.
of West Coast are going to struggle.
Yeah. But I tell you what, the headline is that trout stocking a bonanza for the school holidays. Have a look at this. Families can look forward to making the most of spring these school holidays with more than 30,000 catchable size rainbow trout stocked into almost 80 waters statewide. That is massive. Minister for Agriculture Jala Pulford said the stockings were thanks to fishing licence fees and the Andrews Labor government's Target 1 Million plan, which is investing a record $46 million to get more people fishing more often. Rainbow trout are a great species for children and beginners because they're easy to catch and take a variety of baits and lures. Now, the family stocked lakes, stocked family fishing waters provide the perfect opportunity for those new to fishing to give it a go. Waters to be stocked these school holidays include Albert Park Lake, Eildon Pondage, Carkrook Lake in Moorabbin, Lilydale Lake, Morwell Lake, Highland Lake in Churchill, Pakenham Lake, St Augustine's Watering Hole, or Waterhole in Geelong, Trelly.
West Geelong.
Pennington Reservoir, Darlington Lake in Melton, Pertobe Lake and Rowville Lake. Gee, there's a few tongue twisters there, boys. How good is that?
Like we don't have to read them all out.
Now, seriously, I mean, there's a lot more waters than that. And some of the numbers, Albert Park Lake's got 1,000 rainbow trout stocked this week.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic and good to see a good spread across
Morwell
Melbourne.
Lake, 750. Lilydale Lake, 700. I mean, there's crackers. If you want to see the whole list, go to this website for the full statewide list. Visit vfa.vic.gov.au/holiday trout. It's big. Click on that link. We'll put it up on our social media tomorrow. But a lot of fish, 30,000 trout.
Amazing. And the thing with
Catchable
rainbow trout is when you put them in the water, they're active straight away.
Yeah.
Brown's a little bit doughy, but rainbows just gone.
They're happy to feed, as soon as they're put in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's worked really well.
Pretty good, isn't it? Good initiative.
Oh,
get the kids
amazing.
out now.
Absolutely amazing.
Now, grandparents, listen closely, because the next one...
Turn your hearing aid up.
Yeah, turn the hearing aid up. Going to go on this one? Yep.
Turn yours up, Dave.
There's a grandparents and grandkids day. So, Charlie?
Yep.
Are you going to get young Charlie in here later on?
Charlie in.
All right, because what is coming up is a family-free activity to do during the school holidays. Come and try fishing for grandparents and grandkids. It's at Clifton Springs Foreshore Reserve, September 27th, which is in 2 days' time. That makes it Thursday, 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock if you are a grandparent. Or if you're a parent that wants to get rid of your kids so that I am given to the grandparents, like Jacqueline is out there. She wants to palm Charlie off for the day.
He does.
Get down to Clifton Springs Foreshore Reserve for a grandparents and grandkids day. How good is that? All right, let's keep going. We just flashed up on the screen there, the Vic Kids fishing program. I announced it last week. I don't want to announce it again because there's been a little bit of a change. Sunday the 7th of October is in Bendigo. Sunday 14th of October, in Heatherton, Carkrook Lake. Sunday 21st of October is Ararat, Alexandra Lake, and Sunday 28th of October Seymour is in Goulburn Park. All events run from 10 till 2, and your host for the day will be Lee Rayner. Rex has had a little bit of an operation, and Lee's taken over the reins.
That's
so.
Right.
Lee Rayner will be hosting those kids' events, fantastic events that the VFA are putting on. Let's keep going through them. This one here, I'll tell you what, come and try beach fishing. This is something different. 2 events, Tuesday the 2nd of October, which is next Tuesday.
That's correct.
Next Tuesday between 9:30 and 2 p.m. You can get down to the Torquay Angling Club, and a little bit after that, on the Saturday, 13th of October, Cape Patterson, down past Wonthaggi, at the Wonthaggi Surf Lifesaving Club. 9:30 till 2 p.m. is both events, and our very own Adam Ring will be running those 2 events.
He'll be down there.
He'll be running those 2 events.
So you bring your own rod and reel, or the guys a bit of stuff to, bit of gear to pass around.
Absolutely.
Show us what's going on.
Yeah. Now, a couple of other things happening in the news front.
Yep.
I'm told there is a big meeting going on right now, big public meeting by AGL with their proposal for the regasification plant.
Regasifer.
Yep, down at Western Port.
Yep.
There's some concerns that they're going to suck in billions of litres of water, and when they pump it back out, it's going to be 7 degrees cooler, and I don't reckon that's going to be that good for fishing. But can I just say, in all seriousness, keep an eye out Brendan Wing's Facebook page, because I had a good chat with Winger today, and he's going to give his opinion on it tomorrow. And you know what, Winger's, if he's concerned, we should all be concerned, because he doesn't get involved in the politics of things unless he knows what he's talking about, and he's concerned because it's in his front yard. Check out YouFish TV page or Brendan Wing's page tomorrow, because he's going to give his opinion on this, and I'll tell you what, we should all be a little bit concerned about that one.
Tune in and educate yourself a little bit more about what's going on.
As soon as anything's getting pumped out and pumped back in, we should all be concerned. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know, but anyway, it's I know we've been getting plenty of mail on it, and we just want to mention that Brendan Wing is going to lead a charge tomorrow with a few facts about the whole thing. So anyway, let's get on to some other news. Trelly, the trout cod. I'm going to show a little bit of a video, but I want to talk throughout the rest of the show about what is it going to take for trout cod to be back on anglers' lists of catches that they go out and target and they go, I'm going up to Shepparton to catch trout cod this weekend, and I want to take 3 home for a feed.
Yeah, can happen.
Well, let's see what happens, but let's have a look at this video before we get into that discussion.
This is the Mid-Ovens River near Wangaratta. The program's the Trout Cod Recovery Program. So trout cod are a large-bodied Australian native fish species. The species was locally extinct in these waterways in the 1970s and 80s until a trout cod recovery program, which we're still undertaking part of now. So through better breeding techniques, education, putting snags back in the water, restricting stock access, revegetating banks, preventing erosion, that sort of stuff. So better water quality. Trout cod were bred and replaced in the waterways around Wangaratta, and over a period of 15 to 20 years that occurred.
Trout cod.
And from then onwards we've been monitoring the waterway annually.
366.
And the trout cod population has recovered to become a self-sustaining population.
Weight is 616.
Being a fisherman all my life and fishing these waters, it really gets you buzzing to think that the numbers are coming back.
The anglers have been fantastic. They're the ones that have gone to the trouble to find out the difference between the two species. They're putting trout cod back more often. They're educating themselves and other people about the differences between the two species. The trout cod population here is a self-sustaining population. So provided that we minimise the threats and keep looking after the health of the rivers, this population should be here for hundreds of years. So we go through and we have 10 sites that we annually repeat the electrofishing, and over the last 10 years the numbers have significantly increased in the reach. I think in the first year, or the first few years, there was 30 to 40 throughout the reach that we were collecting, and that's gone up to about 270, 280 fish now. So it's an excellent success story for the old trout cod. I guess the preference of trout cod for exceedingly fast flowing water gives them their own little niche within micro habitats.
The evidence of the fish motels that were put in at Tarrawinji, how it assisted the trout cod and murray cod to create a home and get away from the stinking carp.
Yeah, the trout cod recovery plan has been totally reliant on community groups and partnerships between government organisations, land care groups, just interested parties, including anglers, local councils and the community itself.
Probably the strongest point is that we're involved in removing the carp to allow the development of the trout cod and rejuvenate the numbers in our waterways.
It's a whole mixture of river rehabilitation is going on and has been going on in the reach for probably the last 20 years, so that's all benefited trout cod.
Assisting the Arthur Euler Institute, creating partnerships with other government departments, Nutrisoil being able to take the carp to them to recycle them, those things are very important.
Yeah, the trout cod recovery program's a fantastic news story. It's really positive. It just shows that when all these groups get together, that we can save a species from extinction, and if we can do it here, we can do it everywhere.
Interesting, Trelly. One of the facts there about trout cod like fast running water.
They do, yeah. And while you say that, you get those low river levels downstream from Mulwala right down through to Tokemall and those sort of areas there. And I must say the trout cod have really taken to the waters up there, and you catch them in those really fast-flowing waters. Yeah. But the numbers up there are, could I say, they're like rats. They're honestly, it's
really?
like, they're really good. Like they've come back. Well, I say come back. We sort of always caught them there, but not in the numbers that we probably catch them now. You go up there and you'll put a reasonable size hook on the Barty grub trying to catch a cod, this big. Yeah. And your bait's that long, and you'll catch a trout cod that long.
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
They are very, very aggressive, which is probably their demise as far as a little bit of ways goes. Yeah. But you're right, fast flowing water, and there is a lot of fish up in that area.
Do you reckon that's where maybe the trout stems from, being that they like high flowing oxygenated water, like trout?
I think if you look back through history, they're in a lot of waterways. Yep. Through the Goulburn right up to through the Broken system, and Polymacquins, and all through that northeast area. There was a lot of trout cod. There's 2 lakes.
Yeah. And I suppose it would have been really clean water, and with the carp coming in and destroying that, would have sort of taken away from, wouldn't?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but I think because they're pretty aggressive, they're just easy to catch. They're a bit too easy. They sort of give themselves up a little bit.
So what's it going to take, Trelly, for them to be back on the list with a bag limit, a size limit, and be able to be caught? Not in the couple of lakes. I know. Look, Victorian Fisheries Authority have done a great job. They stocked a couple of lakes. Yep. They're breeding them well, but it hasn't worked, and they're the first ones to admit it that they're. They're small, they're all hiding under a log in those lakes, and it's really not a target species or a destination to go. What's it going to take?
I think it's going to take probably only just a little bit more time, really, because we've seen some numbers and we've seen some size. Yeah, I think so. It could be another 2 or 3 years until they get to a point where the science proves and the catch rate indicates that you can take them, and sustainably take them at those sizes. I notice there's no in the 2 lakes, Samble and the other one up in the northeast. There's no close season. There's a bag limit of 1.
Well, they wouldn't be breeding in there, would they?
I don't believe so, no. I don't believe so. The bag limit of 1 and the slot limit is 40 to 50 centimetres. So that gives you a bit of an indication. If they're not growing to that, well, obviously you can't take one. So the limits are there. But look, I can't see not too far in the distant future, because there are a large amount of trout cod in the Murray River. Yeah. Right? So, and they are to a stage where they just drive you nuts sometimes. Because you put a Barty grub on.
Well, there you go. Maybe only a very short time before we are able to go and target trout cod. Wouldn't that be good if anglers have helped and the state government's helped rebuild that population to a point where they are catchable? Great news for everybody. Coming up next, we've got Product of the Week. We're going to show you some compact reels. Stay tuned. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking Fishing.
Welcome back to Talking Fish. I tell you what, the things that go on during the ad breaks, all good.
Close call.
Now, tonight we are going to talk about compact reels. Now, good friends at Shimano, they have some very good compact reels, what we call compact reels in their range. There's probably, there'd have to be 5 or 6 in the range. And a compact reel, we're going to explain exactly what it is. We've got 3 models in tonight. We've got the Sedona, we've got the Nasky, and we've got the Stratic. And in amongst those ranges, because they make 5 or 6 sizes in all those ranges, but in amongst that is some beautiful compact reels. And Cal, let's kick it off with the Sedona Compact 2000.
Well, I suppose compact is within the name. Compact usually means small. Okay, now the 2000 is essentially the same size as a 1000 reel, but what it actually has is a compact spool. So this is a little bit different to the other compact sizes that we're about to have a look at, but I don't know if it can pick up, but the actual spool size doesn't fit anywhere near as much line as some of the bigger reels. And now people would think that would be a disadvantage, but with modern day PE braids these days, they're so thin. So it's designed so it fits just the right amount of braid, and it'll stop from casting distant.
100 yards, 120 yards.
Yeah, so you might get 100 metres, 150 metres of thinned, what would essentially 4 pound or something like that. But it really aids in your casting distance. It doesn't get caught in the spool. You don't have that.
When you're casting, you're not casting from deep within the bow of the spool.
Exactly. And like what typically we do with the bigger size reels is you'll put monofilament backing on it.
Yep.
And mono has a bit of give, and the braid will bite into the mono, and then it'll stop it from the stop the casting distance. So that's where the compact 2000 sort of comes into it.
Now that's perfect when you talk about applications for that. Squid,
trout.
Seriously, squid. You're only going to need 30 metres of braid at the most.
That's it. But
trout.
Trout, brim, perch. What really comes in its own is when you're casting very light lures. So you're using very thin braid. You might be casting a lure that's maybe a gram or whatnot. So and you want to try and get that 10, 15 metres. 20 metres, so you need that sort of casting distance.
And some people, like you say, with trout, they want to step down to, say, a 1,000 size reel, whereas the actual diameter of the spool, sometimes you get that little loop over the front, I find. Whereas if you're casting from a little bit diameter spool, which is this, you don't have to fill so much, it just flows a lot freer, doesn't it?
It does flow a lot freer,
The Hagana gearing.
So smooth.
So smooth. Let's move on. The Nasky 3000 compact.
The Nasky 3000. So 3000 really essentially is the same size as a 2500. It's got the same specs. It's got about 7 kilos of drag, but this has got a deeper spool. So when you want to get fish for applications like you might be fishing for snapper or what, you want to fit more line on the reel, to gain your chances on catching that bigger fish. Yep, and I'm losing my voice here, sorry guys.
So the beauty, one of the 3000s, to me, is a great reel for, say, big dusky flathead.
Big dusky flathead,
Lake Tyres and places like that, where a fish could take a run and you want a bit of capacity on there. You may want to use, on a 3000 size reel, you may want to use 20 pound line, 20 pound braid.
You can do.
So not your 6 pound or whatever you normal. For a 3000, you may want to get some pretty strong braid on there.
With braid these days, you can get 20 pound line, which is equivalent to about 4 pound. So you can fit a lot of line on there.
So we're talking compact body rather than spool. This one, compact spool. Really.
Exactly. Yep. Okay.
Now let's move on to the big one.
The big one. Okay.
The big compact.
So this is the 5000 Stratic, and if you actually look at it, it's really not that much bigger than the 3000 that we're just looking at, which is essentially a 2500. So you don't want to confuse anyone. But what this puts out is 11 kilos of drag, and I think it fits something like 220 metres or yards of 20 pound. Power Pro braid, which isn't the thinnest braid on the market, so that's quite a lot of line for what this reel can punch out. Like I know guys will go down to Portland and chase, small school tuna with these, so they got a lot of power in them. A lot of guys are fishing for snapper with them, and they'll put 20 pound mono on there, so they can get that 100 metres of line and not get spooled every time.
That's it. They'll rig them up with, say, top end of the bay where you haven't got a lot of flow, a lot of current. On a light gear, because you need light gear, but down the bottom of the bay you might want to go a bigger reel with a heavier rod type of thing. So ideal for certain conditions.
Oh, fantastic.
Taking a few of those out tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning on the snapper.
Someone's lucky.
Well, someone's got to do it. But anyway, tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, we are taking a few Stratic 5000 compact FKs out to test them on the snapper. And well, who knows if the snapper, we've got a full moon, it's going to be 4 degrees in the morning. I'm going to be tired and
grumpy. Yours got the big knob?
Absolutely.
Thought that.
Actually, absolutely.
Dave loves a big knob.
No, they're good. Thanks, Cal. Run us through the compact reels that our good friends at Shimano make, and there's a few others in amongst their whole range of reels, isn't there?
Lovely range of reels.
There you go.
Excellent quality.
Yeah. Now, Cal, while I've got you, a young whippersnapper on the show.
Yes.
It was your birthday yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Happy birthday.
23rd,
23rd?
That's it.
So, a young bloke who you've owned a boat for a couple of years now, since got your licence and got a tinny and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
A young bloke like you rocks up to the boat ramp.
Yep.
You happy with Victorian boat ramps?
Oh, not entirely.
Because, I mean, we have a whinge because we're old, and we've been doing it for so long, and you just go, nothing's changed in 30 years with boat ramps.
Not a lot.
I would love to hear the perspective of a young fellow who's bought himself a boat and goes to the boat ramp and
Yeah. Well, I think
what's your beef?
I think it's pretty poor, to be honest. You know, especially in the hyper snapper season. Sorry, I'm losing my voice again. But you know, you could be waiting. You know, half an hour, an hour.
Yeah.
The facilities just aren't good enough. You're paying for parking or launching. It depends where you sort of go, I guess. And you're paying X amount of dollars for registration, X amount of dollars for insurance for your car, your trailer. And then you've got to pay something like $20 to go and launch your boat.
Yeah.
With terrible facilities, and half the time you can't even get a park.
And you've got to queue up a mile long.
Yeah, and if you get that window of opportunity as far as you get a stretch of bad weather like 10 days, and you get 3 days of good weather, everyone's looking at the thing.
Everyone's going at the same time.
2 o'clock in the morning to get in at 3:30 or something.
The other thing too is if you look at 90% of the boat ramps, there's hardly any facilities. You know, so if you want to take the wives and the kids, there's nowhere for them to go to the toilet. You know, I live at Warneet. You know, half the people peeing behind a tree, and there's you know, wives and you know, small children trying to get the boat, and old mate's taking a leak behind a tree. You know, so
because there's nowhere to go.
There is nowhere to go.
Do you remember the days? And I know the answer to this, when you could pull your boat out of the water, stick the earmuffs on, and plug your hose onto the tap that's at the boat ramp, flush your engine, and then wash it out? Remember that?
Can't you do that anymore?
Never seen that. No.
I mean,
can't even do it in the car wash.
I think, well, certainly the washdown bays are still at Patterson River there, like as in the drains and all that. And I think they've got the big round things that used to have the hose and everything. But you used to be able to come out of the water at any boat ramp and hook everyone had a hose. You plugged it on with the old Nylex.
Sorry, it must have been New South Wales. I remember.
It was New South Wales. That's right. And then once you've hosed your boat out, you'd whack the earmuffs on and flush them out. Now, obviously, you can't do that on every day when it's absolutely flat out. But you'd have to say 200 days of the year or 250 days of the year, you were able to wash out your boat and put the earmuffs on.
When you get up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'd love to do that rather than take it home and have to do it as you're
We've got a desal plant now. Have we really got a water... No, but have we really got a water shortage?
Look, we will have very shortly.
No, we've got a desal plant.
Oh, with a desal plant? Yeah, I know,
Pipe it all around Victoria, I reckon.
Plumb it into the boat ramps and be able to wash your boats and all that. But anyway, boat ramps, ramp rage. I'm hearing there's another video on the go very shortly.
There's a lead up in this.
Yeah, there could be a new video coming.
Could be women backing boats or something?
No, it's a North Melbourne football player, but anyway, you know what it is, Cal. There's not too many that come into Tackwell Cranbourne.
No, that's it.
I reckon he's just warming up the vocal cords to do the next video. But anyway, there you go. Enough of that. Thanks, Cal, for doing that. Appreciate that. In Adam's absence, you did very well. Boat ramps, young blokes, I tell you what, they just don't know how good it used to be, and the facilities just ain't been upgraded for a long, long time. Coming up next, Kramer's Mailbag. We'll see you shortly on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing, and today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Well, a little bit of mailbag this week, boys.
Bit of Benny Hill music.
Benny Hill there, bit of fishing line in the mailbox.
That salmon's gotten smaller over the years.
I tell you what, the mailbox stinks though.
We turned to sender for a while.
All right, let's get into it. This one comes from Lou. Lou over here, sorry, they're yelling at me here, camera one. Lou writes in, hi, all seems to be quiet at the moment, but have you heard any more reports if safe to fish the rivers, Hobson's Bay, etc., after the Footscray fire? I hear lots against. Can you keep us updated? From Lou. I haven't heard a word about it. I think it's all clear now, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, we saw some...
That stuff disperses pretty quick.
We saw some dead fish early, but I think, with a bit of rain, it's probably flushed it out, which Look, it's never a good thing, but we haven't heard it in use recently.
I think it's pretty safe to eat the fish now, and it couldn't be any worse than those snails we had at that restaurant the other week, eh? They were disgusting, I'll tell you what. But anyway.
Action on you.
All right, let's keep going. Charlie, do you believe this? Remember, were you here that day we had Tony Tardio in the studio?
Yeah.
And we got into we're going to do a ramp off. Oh, Ivy, we're going to do a ramp off. Jason Braybrook is asking, when's the ramp off? It's in the too hard basket. I know, we're going to have all the females come and back their trailers down, see whether women could actually back a trailer and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, no, it's not happening. It's too hard. We haven't got enough time.
I'll try and keep it alive, but...
Yeah, keep it alive and mail will come, I can tell. Dwayne Young, he writes, how are the Barramundi doing in Hazelwood? He asks the question. Well, they're doing just fine. Now, there's a bit of talk about this, boys, that the Hazelwood pondage has been drained to a certain level because they're doing some work on the wall. Now, the Hazelwood pondage isn't where the Barra are anymore. They're in the top pondage. So they've drained that. They're doing some work on the wall, but the main... the top lake, which is where the hot water comes out from underground.
The spa bath of the main lake.
It's got a lot of barramundi in it. About 1,000 barramundi, and they're all big and fat.
I can imagine they're big by now. It's been a little while since
and they electrofished them. They checked their guts. Would be close to 3 years. Eating shrimp, eating carp, eating tilapia. So plenty of food apparently in that top lake. And look, I think they're a little bit inactive at the moment, boys. But as the weather gets warmer,
I can only imagine as that weather warms up, they'll get pretty active.
They'll be catchable. Anyway.
Still there.
Yep. Troy writes to us. Thanks to Chris from Trellies over at Geelong for helping to support our grassroots fishing day held at Lethbridge Lake with over 100 happy kids attending. It was a successful day, just a sample of the pictures and fish. Well, I haven't got the pictures sorry about that. Many fish released, but over 100 kids turning up to that event, Charlie.
That's very good, and we find these events, if people are aware of them, and thank you very much to the parents and the grandparents who take the kids along, they're just great events. They don't catch a fish, they get down there and get dirty and find a bug in the water or a yabby or something like that. It's just fantastic, really. And thank you very much to the people who lend a hand and volunteer their time.
Including Chris, one of your staff members down at Trellies Geelong. So well done to Chris. That's it. If you'd like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Now, Cal, I've got you on, you young whippersnapper. I would love your opinion on a few things. So, bream.
Yes.
They're in dire straits.
Gippsland Lakes,
instead of the Mitchell River. And they're in trouble in the Gippsland Lakes. A bloke like you that does target bream and estuary perch and all those little sneaky things that you blokes tend to do. What's your thoughts? Because we've got a lot of mail on, what people would like to see, from a size limit to a bag limit to a slot limit. What's your thoughts on bream in the Gippsland Lakes?
Maybe an app called Finder instead of Tinder.
Look, I'm someone who does fish for bream, but I don't typically keep them anyway. So look, it's not going to affect me, whatever happens. But whether it be a slot limit, I definitely think that the bag limit should change, and so should a lot of species. I know fisheries do a lot of work to go out and see what is sustainable. But look, I know. I don't think anyone would be against the bag limit, maybe say dropping to 5. The slot limits are...
10's a lot, isn't it?
10 is a lot of bream. The slot limit's a little bit of a different one. I suppose bream, a 40 centimetre bream could be as old as 30 to 40 years old. So
older than you.
Yeah, definitely older than me. So I personally wouldn't keep one of them anyway. But I'm not against anyone doing that. That's their own choice and right to go fishing and do. But look, I definitely think the bag limit should change. So not necessarily the slot limit, but there is arguments for both. But I definitely think the bag.
Can I
limit.
ask you again, as a young man? I'm thinking you might have a different answer to me. Have you ever eaten a bream?
Yes, I have eaten a bream. And look, the bream that I've eaten, I've actually quite enjoyed. I didn't even raw. But look, they weren't too bad tasting. But I am aware that they are quite an old fish, and that's why I choose not to. And I just choose to catch them for sport.
See, I reckon, Trilly, as a young bloke, I had no idea about that. And when you went down to the Gippsland Lakes, they were in plague proportions. I didn't think twice about knocking 10 on the head and eating them.
Right.
And simple as you wrap them in foil with a bit of salt and pepper and butter. As simple as that. And
very easy. We've had the statistics, like we had the guy on last week, was his name?
Dave Warren.
Dave. So, he talks about the historical catch down to what it is now. And I think guys like Colin who are coming along a bit more educated with what's happening and that type of thing. So if you did have an app called Fender, you wouldn't be looking for a 40-year-old, would you? Or maybe you would be looking for a 40-year-old because it's a big brim.
No, well, I think the education's there now, so people are more aware.
I reckon there'd be plenty of young blokes like you, though, that do target, Marlon Blackford, who sends photos in all the time. I don't think he'd eat a brim. And I think the generation that's coming through after you we'll probably never eat a brim. Until we ever see those numbers, until we see those numbers come back in places like the Gippsland Lakes, where you can go down and seriously throw a prawn in the water and catch a brim within 10 seconds.
That's numbers.
But then there's more sustainable fish that we could be eating, pelagic fish like salmon and stuff. But people don't know how to cook them properly, and just think, that's a yuck fish. Let's give it a miss. There's yakka and stuff. All those fish are really high in, high
it's all good fresh,
omega-3. It is good if you prepare it and cook it right. It doesn't have to be a white flesh fish.
I've been down there and I've caught some fish in different parts of Victoria. And go, what's that? It's a salmon. It's a burley bucket fish, or it's find a mate called Paul and give it to him. But if you cook it fresh, it's quite good. But if you're a local to that area, they're looking for something better, aren't they? But all that stuff's good fresh. And you go, it's nothing like this. You put it through the burley bucket.
Just interested to hear your thoughts on brim, because they are in deep trouble down at Gippsland Lakes, and I think we're only weeks away, hopefully, from hearing from both sides of government an announcement about what they're going to do about the Gippsland Lakes, because it needs some help, whether it's water inflows, whether it's the depth of the entrance, whether it's overfishing, whether it's regulation. Some things have got to change, and hopefully we're only weeks away from that. Anyway, coming up next, hotspots. It's all about the hotspots. It is the grand final weekend coming up this week. We're going to tell you where to go fishing right after this.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne.
Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start.
I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat.
Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Now, Charlie, can you tell me what the next segment's called? Say it loud.
Hotspots.
Hey!
Hotspots.
On ya, Charlie.
High five.
Hey, we've got the grandkids in. It's I'll tell you, way past his bedtime, Charlie.
I know.
Probably way past yours as well. But anyway, hotspots for the week. It is this week's hotspots, and it is the grand final weekend. If you have a team in the finals, I hate you all because you'd have to be a Collingwood or West Coast supporter. And I'll tell you what, wasn't it 2 shocking games on the weekend?
Was, yeah. So I was very disappointed, but
well, they were one-sided, Charlie. I mean, they weren't much.
If you're the winner, you'd be, it's fine.
It's fishing season now.
I reckon Collingwood.
If you lose, you go fishing.
I reckon Collingwood played the grand final last weekend. There you go. But anyway,
we'll see.
Let's kick it off. If you want to check out some early season snapper, 15 metres off Sandringham is the place to go. I tell you what, there is some good fish off Sandringham at the moment. The locals are trying to keep it quiet, but we're not going to keep it quiet. Get out there and check them out. Off Sandringham, Cal.
I've been working in Sandringham, and I can tell you that right now that there has been quite a few boats from Black Rock through to Sandringham, and
you
there's
see
been
them
some
sitting out
nice
there,
fish.
can't you?
Yeah,
on
I
the
can.
reefs.
Yeah, while I'm working.
I I just think the water's that little bit warmer up at the top end. It's normally 1 to 2 degrees warmer at this time of year, and that's certainly a place to go. So there you go. If you want some big calamari now, I know you saw in Catch of the Week some big fish off Blairgowrie Pier and some big fish off Portsea Pier, but I can tell you the second hot spot for the week, in amongst the Sorrento moorings. If there's a southerly breeze blowing, it is magnificent. No, it's magnificent because it's dead flat with a southerly. You don't need to go any more than 50 metres offshore from Sorrento. In the moorings, there are some monster calamari, boys.
Oh, really? Yes, and that's pretty typical of this time of the year. Again, down south you do get some big ones, and it's good to see them not far from the shore. So land-based anglers, getting in the mix.
Cast from the bank, cast from the shore.
Nah,
not quite.
It's hard there.
I reckon I've got guys come in the shop and say they can cast 300 metres. Yeah, you get those blokes, do you?
Oh, yeah, Itchy and Scratchy. Itchy and Scratchy. What's their name? Oh, no.
Weedy and Crouchy.
Yeah, that's the one. I reckon they can cast 300 metres on a good day.
If they're watching this, you'll get a hate.
Oh, I know.
I'll tell you now,
They'll catch the train over tomorrow and tell us. Charlie, what's the name of the segment again? I forgot.
Hot spots.
Hot spots.
Yeah,
I did that.
On the camera. There you are, Charlie. I tell you what, it's good to have that. There he is. Oh, he's going to chase the red light now.
Yeah,
boys, don't confuse Charlie in the control room there. Let's head over to Western Port, and if you want a snapper this weekend, there is no better place. It's going to be tough out there with a full moon. I think it's either tonight or sometime. Anyway, close. Right. Crawfish Rock is the place to be. A run-out tide you want, about mid-tide. Get the water flowing around there, and there's some good snapper around there, right?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of looking mid-tide to the end of the run-out tide. Where you're typically fishing there, can be quite a steep drop-off. Might drop, from sort of 7-8 metres into sort of about, 17 metres. And the fish will be running from the banks where they've, been into some warmer water feeding, and they'll be dropping into that deeper water. So the last of the run-out tide is pretty good at Crawfish Rock.
Opposite end of Western Port, there's another little place called Elizabeth Island, which fires this time of year pretty quickly too, and I think the old Coronella boat ramp on a calm day will now start to fill.
Yes.
And Elizabeth Island will be the target place to go.
I was driving down the island just on Friday, and it was quite a nice day, and there was a few boats out around Elizabeth Island, so I think it might be fishing pretty well.
There you go. The next one, if you want to take your kids fishing this school holidays, they're on now, and you've got another week and a half. Yep. If you want to take your grandson out, like Charlie.
Like little Charlie.
Hey?
You
want to go fishing, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
You love fishing?
You do like your fishing, don't you?
Well, take Charlie, or your equivalent of Charlie, to the St. Augustine's Waterhole. What a name!
Yep.
What a name of it. Can you say that, Charlie? St. Augustine's Waterhole. Can you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you can.
Yeah, you can.
Here we go.
There you go. Get there.
It's like West Geelong. You look it up, you Google it, and if you see a really nice golf course with a water hole, it's the wrong one. It's St. Augustine's Foreign Golf Club. It's a water hole. But
I haven't got how many. Don Lake is the other one, the last hot spot. Don Lake is the actual lake in Healesville.
Don is good.
And I reckon it's got about 500 trout put in it this week as well for the kids. So the other one, and I love telling people, get up to Marysville because it's just equally as good as Healesville. Really nice. Lovely lake in town, some beautiful trout in those. And what a great job it is, like we mentioned earlier on, 30,000 trout being put into those family fishing lakes.
Oh, it's just great to see the kids, having the opportunity to get out there. Yeah. And even if they're not catching a fish, they're out, they're off the iPads, they're off the PlayStations, So they're running around doing something.
Charlie, what would you say for a family that's at home and they've got they haven't been fishing before, and we've mentioned a few lakes there, and you can get onto the website. I think it's vfa.vic.gov.au/holiday trout. What would it cost them for a rod and reel? What? $40 bucks, you'd have everything, wouldn't you?
$40 will get you a really good one.
Yeah.
You can get them down to like $12, $15.
Yeah. So rod, reel, bit of power bait or something like that.
For the cost of a drink or a department, something like that, you can basically get yourself a rod and reel. So and there's that many different spots around as far as lakes and bits and pieces that have been stocked and all that type of thing. Yeah. It's incredible as far as what you can do. Get into your local tackle shop. I mean, we've all been we've got the tackle shops ourselves, which are great. But get into your local tackle shop. You know, everyone's really, when it comes to kids and getting them out fishing and all that type of thing.
Staff are engaged, aren't they? They're there to help you.
Yeah, they do, and they just got soft spots for kids. So,
Is the bar going to tip over if Charlie rocks it enough? Do you reckon?
You want to spill my beer?
Hey?
Front bar.
No, all good. Like I mentioned earlier on in the show, there's a big public meeting on tonight with AGL down at Western Port because there is it's only early discussions, a regasification plant, I think they call it, where they're going to pump billions of litres of water in and billions of litres of water out. And there is some concerned anglers, and I know that Brendan Wing is going to make an announcement about it tomorrow because he's looking into it. He wants to make an announcement. He's going to lead the way on a big announcement tomorrow about just how he thinks this regasification plant should be or shouldn't be in Western Port. It's pretty important that we just got to look after the environment, look after our own water, and I know it's all we've got to be smart with energy and that sort of stuff too, and not burn as much coal, but. It's got to be done smartly.
As soon as anyone starts tampering with our precious marine environment, it is concerning, So whether the government or any other affiliations, but you don't want to be pumping water or out of the system. You don't want to be pumping it back in. So
got to look after it. Cal, thanks for coming in tonight.
No worries, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Charlie, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks, Charlie.
Hey, all good?
High five.
All right. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. A special show next week. We are joined by the Minister responsible for Fisheries, Jarla Pulford. We'll recap the last 4 years of her being the Minister, and we'll try and squeeze a big announcement out of her next week as well. So be watching next week, a must-watch show. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, may your footy team win, or may you just enjoy the day, and please stay safe on the water if you head out fishing. Enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.